I wanted to start this little chat with a story about a guy who once upon a time he had this dream that he wanted to change his life, to get away from pain and to get away from suffering, and to get closer to this special thing that he found one day in a yoga class. That quest then, in trying to change his life, took him to teacher training. something really profound happened in me in that process, and that was that I realized how I all of a sudden held the keys to actually help other people change their own lives. Because if I, as a human in this world, was experiencing lots of sufferance and pain, then by all rights there must be a shitload of other people out there who are experiencing a truckload of sufferance and pain. And so that's when One Big Heart was born. We've got that little mission statement that's there on the wall, that mission of sparking inquiry into a journey of mindfulness. Because I was like, well, that's for me, like this thing that I found inside me when I first did yoga, that just made me super intrigued as to what else is there. And the more intrigued I became, the more I engaged with the practice. As the dream shifted from changing my own life to helping other people change their lives as well, that vision was birthed, that vision that says the power to change the world one human at a time. One Big Heart turns 5 next year. And I see the effectiveness of that little mission of sparking inquiry into a journey of mindfulness simply by the fact that we've had touch points so far on the lives of 4,500 people in this time. And the fact that such a large percentage of these people keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back for everything that we as teachers have to offer, to show you guys. And so I know that there's an effectiveness in that, and I also have sat in this place and witnessed how when things change around us really drastically, we can all quite easily become distracted and a bit lost, and we can all little bits of that sufferance and pain start to seep back in when that happens. The last year or so, I think, has done a really good job at demonstrating for us all what we don't want as people. What we don't want is the separation. What we don't want is the disconnection, and what we do want is the love, and what we do want is like this family aspect that we've created at One Big Heart. It's simply come from the fact that, like, right from the start, it's all been about you. It's all always been about you guys, and helping people find ways to change their life by virtue of the practice that we all do and the regularity in which we do it. We're more and more coming to those places where we feel abundance, and which means that people are more and more seeing that of you. People start to contemplate things when they see joy in people, And so I know that we are being effective in what this vision was that I had when I started. And really what that's made me start to reflect on is purpose. What is the purpose of One Big Heart? And the thing that I've recognized through that question, the purpose is to help people find joy and ease and genuine gratitude for life. Because that's what I feel when I practice, when I'm engaged and I'm in my things and I'm doing it. And it's all of a sudden it's like, I can go from a place of stressed and anxious and angry and frustrated and whatever, and do a class and be like, oh, that's all fucking just gone. Oh, you all know that feeling, right? Yeah, you could close your eyes and you could probably breathe into that feeling, and I can see the smiles come up on your face when I talk about that. That's where it's at. And so if that's the purpose, and if that purpose is really simple, and then we have this vision of changing the world one human at a time, well, I mean, what does that look like, I suppose, was the next question for me. And actually starting to create a mission that sits beside this purpose that becomes like measurable, achievable, tangible, and expansive, right? The more people that we can engage with, then the more we travel down this vision of like changing the fucking world, right? It's powerful what we do as yogis. We fucking love you guys. We love you. We love you. We love you. And if 2022 is all about you, then how do we express that in deeper ways? And so we've been working in the background to understand the business and understand the operations and to understand the processes and to understand things like the customer journey. What we've done recently is started to go into understanding the workshop journey itself as an individual piece of work, and look at how we start to get better at that, how we start to deliver you more. Because I definitely know that whilst life-changing things are happening to us throughout our everyday practice, there's a lot more room in a workshop where we're talking about a specific piece of content that you're super interested in, where there's potential that an even bigger, like, life-changing thing happens in a workshop. The next thing we want to do for you guys is we want you to know that you're seen, and we want you to know that you're heard. Yeah, I want to have for you guys a quarterly get-together that's not out here in a park, that's at CVI in their functions room. Yeah. Where we start to talk about what One Big Heart is for you, like what you want to see, what you're loving, what you're not loving, where we start to talk to you about what we're doing for the next quarter, and we start to look at and debrief, like, what has this last quarter been like for you guys? So we want to provide that space for you quarterly, right? Well, let's call that 3 quarters. Because then the last one, I want to hold like more of like, not just a Christmas lunch thingy, but like an annual big event. Now, when I'm talking about these things are members inclusions, right? These things are members inclusions. It's not just for the general population. We love those guys too. We love them, but we know that you're committed to the practice, and so we want to show special attention to you guys who have that level of commitment, right? The annual, I've been chucking around so many ideas about this. The annual event would look more like, again, hire a space, party, celebration, right? Not just nibblies, but dinner. Bring in keynote speakers to deliver you some chats about some subjects that are just outside of the scope of what, your general teaching team is talking about. I want to bring in entertainment for you guys, like, be that, male strippers.
Backstreet Boys, I think.
Oh, Backstreet Boys. Wow. Okay. I mean, I'd be more inclined to go male strippers than Backstreet Boys.
Hey, they're all 50 now, aren't they? It's just a joke, but those are too much.
Fucking love it. I love it. Where was I before I was Backstreet Boys? Yeah, sweet. And again, run through what the year was like for you guys and what you want the next year to be. Like, I'm sure you're sitting here right now thinking about what you want your next year to be within terms of New Year's resolutions and stuff. Like, we can do that for the studio too with you guys. you know, one of the other things that I want to do through this experience is obviously have fun with the fact that there's going to be the Backstreet Boys and male strippers both in the one fucking room. Awards ceremony, right? Awards ceremony. Little one for the teaching team, for the biggest contribution for the internal team, and we're going to call that the Bhakti Love Award. I want to start to recognize and put out there people like the student with the highest attendance for the year who would receive the I'm Levitating Award. The student who went the extra mile for the community, right, who is clearly the karma chameleon. And then we want to start to recognize, and I know some of you are going to fall in this category already, and I'll probably see your ears prick up, but like people who have been with us for 2 years, people who have been with us for 3 years. We've been around for 4 years, almost 5 in Feb. We've probably got, I don't know if we would have a student who's actually had a 4-year membership yet. But
I've been member since the start.
there, yeah.
Foundation.
Here he is.
Foundation member.
Here he is. Well, Ben, you know, you'd be probably one of the first ones to receive the Enlightened Ones Award, right? Now, the other thing that you guys know that we're doing already is we got teacher training, which is kicking off in Feb, which we're super stoked about. And so, for those guys who go through teacher training, I got something special for them, and that is the Packed to the Brim Award, because they will be absolutely packing shit about teaching their first class after they get certified, right, Viv? Yeah, happens. It's like, fuck. Now I'm going to stand in front of a room full of people. Damn. But then I talked to you about this story about this guy before, who clearly was me, and you know, I want to honour those people who quit their job and become a yogi, right? Of course, that would receive the Hippie Life Award. There's a real dedication to the teaching when that happens, right? It's like, this is all I got now. This is all that, and I'm not saying that I expect you to go and quit your job, Ben, once you do your TT in Feb. But hey, you know, like, as an example, I was never going to do that when I went and did my teacher training. I want to start to engage in more and more effective joint ventures, you know. So right now, one of you guys hurts yourself. It's like, hey, go see Chris at Kinetic Healthcare. He's awesome. And he is. He's great. Like, so many people have come back from that dude and gone, he just fixed something that I've had for 12 years in like an hour. What are those magic hands? But we want to get more and more into the joint ventures space, where we, through joint ventures, start to give you guys access to much grander wellness services, right? And so we would honour those guys as well. I've got the last award would be, if you're a man, the return of Shiva, or if you're a woman, the return of Shakti. For the yogi who's come back after a long sabbatical, because I know that can be a fucking hard thing to do, right? There's times where we take some time off. It could be I'm driving a van around Australia, or it could just be I cannot be there now and I'm taking 3 months off, and all of it's okay. There's no good reasons, bad reasons. It's just whatever happens, right? But I know from personal experience, when I've had massive amounts of time off, it is so hard to then go and step my foot into a studio. And I can give you an example. When I did my teacher training, I didn't practice in a studio for 3 months, and I pulled up into the car park of the studio where I used to practice, and I like had trembles. Like, I was nervous as fuck walking into that studio. So I know how hard that journey can be, and so I would love to honour those as well. But those are some of the things that that we've got planned for you guys for 2022, because it's all about you. After the last 2 years, everybody needs some fucking special love and care and attention, and we feel it through you guys because of the fact, just simply for the fact that you're still fucking here after all this time, which means that we can be here. And so it's time for us to reflect more on you. Did I mention that for 3 months of membership, we're going to give you a $25 voucher for the studio? For 6 months of membership, we're going to give you a $50 voucher for the studio. And for 12 months, we're going to give you a $50 voucher for somewhere else, like MacArthur Square or Westfields or something like that, yeah? So we're just looking at ways that we can support you better, because you guys are the reason that we're here. It's always been about you. It will always continue to forever be about you. And the more that we can support you, the more that One Big Heart grows to a place where Studio 2 happens, Studio 3 happens, Studio 4 happens, Studio 5 happens. Because when that stuff starts to happen, then that vision that I had of 5 years ago of the power to change the world, one human at a time, that shit gets strong, and that shit's like getting out there. Because if we as individuals can have these beautiful, loving, grateful, joyous feelings that come to us through the practice of yoga, the whole fucking world deserves that. The whole world deserves that. And that's always been my mission. That's always been my mission.